From the moment EA released this 89 overall PWHL Alina Muller team builder card, we was all waiting when will EA finally release 89 overall men's team builder cards, and this is what we got. We got our left-handed defenseman Niklas Hjalmarsson, we have our right-handed defenseman Kris Letang, we also have our right-handed winger Doan, our center Niklas Backstrom, and our left-handed winger Marian Hossa. Hello YouTube and welcome back to another NHL 25 video. Today I want to talk about the team builders. If we compare them to NHL 24, then this is like a massive what the hell, because none of these cards in my opinion are must make. Considering the cost and also how much cards you need to trade in, they should be one of the best cards in the game. Are they one of the best cards in the game? I don't think so. Let's start with Marian Hossa. In my opinion, one of the best cards released yesterday, and the reason why is because we have a lot of other good alternatives in every other position where we don't really have a lot of good left-handed wingers if you are not, let's say, chasing one of the chase cards like Gretzky or X-Factor McDavid. He does help two-way forward and also pinpoint shooting boost. If you activate both synergies, you can get the shooting a little bit up, you can also get the endurance up. In general, not a bad card, but at the same time, make it snappy is not really that good this year, still usable, but the reason why I think this card is the best card is because of Unstoppable Force. I had Unstoppable Force activated earlier in the game on Jagr, and I really did notice a huge difference. It's so difficult to get the puck away from any player with Unstoppable Force activated, and Marian Hossa is also not the smallest player, so in my opinion, if I would need to pick one card, I definitely would pick Marian Hossa. But at the same time, if we look at the 86 overall cards for the same position, we had Ryan Smith, also with two-way forward synergy, so you can see that the stats are really not that far away. Considering an 89 overall card is 3+ boost in the overall, you was expecting to see a little bit more. Ryan Smith also have a close quarter zone ability, so I actually think this card is pretty much the same or not even better in some aspects than Marian Hossa. But of course, the skating stats are much better, the shooting is better just because of the overall. I'm just saying this because considering you need to trade in two 86 overall team builders to get this 89 overall team builder, I don't think it's worth the cost. Next one is Kris Letang. Really lazy move from EA considering he's currently playing in NHL. In my opinion, all team builder cards should be players who are not really playing in NHL anymore. But he's a right-handed defenseman with two-way defenseman synergy and also pinpoint shooting boost. Superstar ability will be shutdown and zone ability will be heat seeker. If you don't have fantasy Parayko, then this is a really good alternative at the same time. And also keep in mind that Kris Letang received an event card this event basically the same week, so again, quite a lazy move from EA in my opinion. The next one is Doan. It's power forward and also playmaking boost. As far as he's not your favorite player, his card is really not offering anything any other card cannot offer you at the same time. He's a pure right-handed winger, so considering we have so many cards released in the recent events, I just don't see any reasons why would you need to make this card as far as you're not fan of the player or a team. He does have close quarters and also born leader. It's quite questionable ability because some people believe it's one of the best if not the best abilities in the game, and some people actually think that it's pointless. His shooting and skating and hand stats are decent, but there is nothing outstanding about this card. Where on the other hand, if you look at Mike Gardner, who also have sniping forward, if you activate, then his shooting is way above 92, his skating is really good, his hands are not bad, and he also have gold wheels. In my opinion, Mike Gardner is actually way better than Doan, and it would cost you much less to actually make Mike Gardner and use him in your team instead of making Doan. The next one is Niklas Hjalmarsson. Again, as far as you're not fan of the player or a team, I don't really see any reasons why would you make this card, because he have defensive defenseman and also agility boost. Yes, if you activate both synergies, it boosts defensive stats and also agility and balance, but at the same time, if you already completed an XP path and you already have, let's say, Hedman or even Jay Boomister, he would definitely not be your first pair defenseman. So for example, I already have Megan Keller. This card is definitely not better than Megan Keller. I'm very close of completing the XP path, so Victor Hedman would definitely be my second defensive pair. So if I would decide to make Niklas Hjalmarsson, he would be my third pair defenseman. I cannot really justify the cost for a third pair defenseman considering how much resource you have to put in to make any of these cards. If you look at the 86 overall card for the same position which we had available from the day of the release, Mark Ho have defensive defenseman, his shooting stats and skating stats and hands are very close to his overall, and also he have zone ability shutdown. Not a bad card. Is Niklas Hjalmarsson better than Mark Ho? 100%, but again, to make one of the 89s you need to trade in two 86, so still cannot justify the cost. And the last one is Niklas Backstrom, our center position player. Playmaking forward and also agility boost. Yes, if you activate the synergies you can get the agility and balance all the way to the 95, and it's noticeable. His acceleration and speed is 92, his shooting is not bad, and his facer stat is 90. Superstar ability will be tape to tape, where zone ability will be elite edges. Not a bad card on the paper, but after Protect the Net event we have Barco, we have Aho, we also have still Sidney Crosby and Joe Niewendijk, and not a single card is worse than Niklas Backstrom. Even if you look at Saku Koivu with two-way forward, if you activate the synergy you can get the facer stats all the way to the 90. He also have born leader, his skating and shooting and hands are not bad. Very usable card, so technically you could still use Saku Koivu instead of Backstrom. So for sure, if you're a Washington Capitals fan, or let's say you're building a Sweden team, then Nicklas Backstrom would make a huge difference in your team because he's a good card, but the cost and the actual stats just don't link up in my opinion. I still stand with what I said before. Alina Muller is not a bad card, sniping forward and also agility boost. If you activate both synergies, you can get the agility to the 96, balance to 94, the shooting is great, the hands are awesome, superstar ability, puck on string, and elite edges. Yes, she's really small and will be bumped off the puck very easily, but I still stand and I think this is the best 89 overall team builder card we have. So yes, if you look at every single team builder card released yesterday, I just think EA could do much better job than they actually did. It does not look like they put a lot of effort of coming up with the stats, making these cards one of the best cards in the game, and in general, even choosing the players. But if you still want to go and make any of the team builders, don't worry, EA got you covered. You also have plenty of new moments to grind without any XP. So if we complete every single moment released by EA yesterday, we will end up with 66 silver cards, which we can use for team builders, we can use them for base X Factors or base power-up icons. In my opinion, I don't think it's worth making team builders. I would just put them into hologram icons because those cards are much better than the team builders and also offer you more line of flexibility. They go up with every single time they receive an upgrade. And yes, even if it doesn't happen very often this year, they still are much better cards than the team builders released yesterday. Because in all fairness, releasing Kris Letang, who already have event card, who is currently playing in NHL, is a super lazy move from EA. But just the last thing to touch on the team builders. Don't forget, if you want to make one, you need to make two. If you want to make three, you need to make four, because that's how it works. To make one of the 89 overall team builders, you need to trade in two 86 overall team builders. If you look at the stats for an 86 overall cards and for an 89, I personally would really not trade them in if you are, let's say, not hot rich, because you could easily use the 86 overall cards until you replace them with any of the free MSPs you can get by grinding the objectives, moments, wildcard, and anything else EA release. What we are used from the prior years is to see that team builders are always the cards everyone wants to chase. Yes, the cost is ridiculous, but at least it offers you a lot of line of flexibility, and it also boosts the team in general. Some of the MSP cards are much better. For example, would I make Kris Letang, who is right-handed defenseman, or would I make Moritz Seider from current event? I probably would go with Moritz Seider. Is Nicklas Backstrom better than, let's say, Barco? I don't think so. Same about Nicklas Hjalmarsson, already touched. I probably would go with free Headman, which I would get from XP Path, instead of trading in that much resource into the card, which would not even really be my first defensive pair. Just before we end, I wanted to open NHL 24 and just have a quick look. We started the year with 87 overall team builders, and I understand that the progression is different this year, also how they boost the attributes, how they release the cards. But the next tier for the team builders was 90 overall. This Willie Mitchell had 3 synergies straight away, and if you activate all of them, you can see that his skating stats were good, shooting stats were good, and also hands were decent. He was one of the best left-handed defensemen for a long time. Same goes with this Adrian Akuin for 3 synergies and really insane skating and shooting and hand stats. Don't even want to touch the superstar and zone abilities, which, yes, I know it's different this year and the zone abilities doesn't work the same as it was before. It also costs you different. If you have to put so many cards in and if you have to spend so much coins to make any of these cards, you are expecting, I don't know, 3 synergies and some really decent advantage. This year's team builders definitely don't offer the same. In my opinion, Robin Rayner was not that great but still usable card. John Leclerc was probably one of the weakest options because we had so many good alternatives to use as our left-handed wingers. Same thing goes for Brendan Shanahan. But look at Mike Modano. 3 synergies, and if you activate every single one, the skating stats, the shooting stats, and the hands are one of the best stats you can find in the game. Even if, let's say, you have all the 99 overall cards in your team, Mike Modano is still a very usable card. You could use him in the center position, you can use him on the wing, and he also have gold wheels. Because not a single card released by EA yesterday offered that much advantage as Mike Modano last year. And again, I will repeat myself, it's just a very lazy content from EA. They're 100% aware how much these cards cost, so they definitely need to boost their stats. They need to make them absolutely incredible, so everyone want to go and make them. Everyone want to go and rip packs, I don't know, save for them. Because if you have to spend that much fodder, you definitely want to have some kind of advantage. And again, not a single card released yesterday by EA offer you that. And yes, I don't want this to be another angry video from me where I'm complaining about the content or anything like that, but I just don't understand and I cannot justify the cost of trading in 286 overall cards for any of these cards released by EA yesterday. Let me know down in the comment sections below. What do you think about the team builders released yesterday by EA? Do you like the player choice? Do you like the attributes? And do you think any of these cards are must make? I personally don't think any of these cards are must make. Any of these cards will offer you any line of flexibility, and even I cannot justify the cost, and I keep repeating myself all the time. It's just way too expensive for the cards they released yesterday. I probably would suggest you go and make hologram icons because they would at least give you free abilities, they also receive upgrades, and the cost is much cheaper than making these team builder cards. Thanks for watching today's video, have a good one and see you on the ice.